What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Overcame channel. Today we have special guest Nato from NSN Detailing, probably the most famous mobile detailer in Ireland.
Life in the flesh. Hello guys.
So in the video we're gonna do interview with Nato. I'm gonna give him a couple of questions and we'll have a bit of chat about his venture when it comes to car care. So Nato, when did you start your car care journey? Where do you operate? Basically tell us about your business.
Yeah, so when did I start this? I'm coming up to 3 years. So pretty new, but you know, we're getting there. I operate either mobile or at my house. So right now I'm home based. Looking to get a unit soon, so if anyone has a unit, you know. So what I do is mostly interior, exterior deep clean, and paint polish, paint correction, gloss enhancement, all of that stuff. So if you're looking to get your car up and shiny, then this is where you should come. This is the place to be. So I am based up in Kildare, so like Selbridge, so it's quite a distance from here.
So tell us, how did you get started your mobile valeting business? What was your inspiration to do that?
Right, so it might sound funny, but I just got my car, my second car ever, from a dealership. You know, the car was in a good state at first, but then after a couple of months, obviously I bring it to the car wash, this and that, start seeing swirl marks, scratches, and I wanted to, you know, get it paint corrected. I went down to a company, a place. They quoted me, you know, expensive, like it's expensive, I know it is. So I decided to did my own research. Pandy Organizer is based in America.
Yeah.
Paint correction, interior cleaning. I ended up doing that for my own car, and I just fell in love. I just kept doing it for week after week, and one of my friends mentioned that I should start, but then I kind of put it off for a couple of years because that's not what I'm interested in, and I don't know what got me into it. I started doing research, looking into equipments. And at that time, I was still working a 9 to 5, so saving a bit of money from that 9 to 5 and put it into, you know, the car detailing equipments. And then yeah, look where I am now. We're not there yet. Halfway. Still expanding.
Yeah. So basically, you started with your own car. Now you're full time at it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you enjoy the job.
It's fun, except the weather part. You know, if I have a unit like this, I'm sleeping in it. I'm making my own bed, my own gym.
You will get there. Now you are definitely the most famous lad that does cars in Ireland.
Yeah.
Basically, how many followers you have on TikTok?
I'm currently coming up to 450,000, so nearly 500,000. It's crazy.
Well, that's like, you know, Ireland is a small country.
Yeah.
So that's serious number. Following.
I have many followers from America, just nearly everywhere. UK, America. You wouldn't think, you know. It's crazy.
How did you come up with the idea of doing TikTok?
I wanted to obviously get my social media up, and that's how you get exposure. That's how you get business clients and people to know that you have a business. I started off just from actually Facebook, but I feel like Facebook, you know, it's kind of old school, so I moved to Instagram. Start posting like a couple of pictures and very rookie, like starter videos that didn't get anywhere. So I ended up just keep making it, literally just keep making the videos, taking pictures, showing my work. And after that, I moved to TikTok. Wasn't getting anywhere. I start seeing car detailing page from America, and of course I start getting inspiration from them. And that's when I start recording the POVs. You guys know the POVs videos, very satisfying, and the ASMR videos and stuff like that. I do give a couple of advice, you know, of how to clean the interior, exterior, very basic, you know, basic stuff. So
yeah, that's very impressive. I have small TikTok channel compared to yours because I have only 30,000 followers. I think what I'm missing on that is the consistency in uploading the videos. Like we kind of, our videos are, most of them are funny. Like they get really good reach. But like I was looking at your channel, like it's very impressive. Like you have millions of views on some of the videos. So you said you started TikTok at the start, wasn't doing much.
No.
What was the point where you started to get really good?
I think I started doing advice. So what products I use for the interior, for the exterior, just for wash, basic clean, basic wash. And that started getting attention just by me giving advice. Okay, how to clean the wheels, how do I clean the glass, simple stuff like that, and what equipment I use for beginners. That started getting attraction just for my own, I think, personality or my advice. And I moved on to POVs, like the view from my head, cleaning, doing stuff like that. So that was a good attraction for the page.
Yeah, it looks like the POV videos that they do really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, overall I think it's crazy how can you do those things, like, you know, like you're doing your job there, you put some videos and they go viral, and then like literally within short space of time you're known everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I'm into cars myself recently, and every time I go to the car meets and stuff, like I do get recognition. People coming up to me. Is that NSN? Is that the detailing guy? It's crazy.
Do you give autographs?
Soon.
Yeah,
Autograph,
like,
sign on your T-shirt, everything. Yeah.
No, but that's very cool.
Yeah.
What is the impact of your being known from TikTok on your business and your personal life?
There's a lot of young people that wanted to start this business as well. They contacted me asking for advice. I tried to get back to everybody, but yeah, I have a list of, you know, answers, everything. So I'm going to be there all day if I type it out. So I just write everything that they ask. I have a different list of different answers for different questions, and I just send it to them. But I try to help everyone out.
So you need to hire someone to do that for you.
Yeah. The marketing, the social media. Yeah.
Do you have any tips for people starting off in the detailing, valeting industry, how to grow their social media presence?
Now I can say how I did it.
Yeah.
It's a mixture of course, hard work, consistency, and luck. I say luck has a good part in it as well. But I started off just by doing friends, family's car, either for free or, you know, 30, 20 euro compared to the price I have now. Start doing that, take videos, take pictures before and after, post it on, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, Google Business is actually a really good thing to have, because when people search up your name on Google, you'll pop up, you know, 5-star reviews or whatever. You start from there. After that, you just kind of expand. For me, it took me, I think, 2 years to get my first client.
All right.
Well, it took me 2 years to actually start the detailing business. Before that, I was doing like research on equipments, on products, saving up money to buy all the equipments, you know. And after that, and then I start actually cleaning my friends and family cars. So it was a long journey to actually start it.
Yeah, so that shows that like those things don't happen like that. Like you have to put time into it. You have to put effort. You have to sacrifice a good bit of your life to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
When we talk about the TikToks you do, when you do customers' cars these days, does it take much time to do the TikTok?
To record when you're doing
the job, yeah.
Okay, when I'm doing the job, it's not really, because the type of video I do, I just put the headband on my head, slap the phone up, press record, let it record, and do my thing. And then I just turn it off, stop recording, and then maybe the next section of the cleaning, that's when I press record again.
Okay,
yeah. So it's not long at all.
And you do voiceover
sometimes
when you finish.
Yeah,
the videos we have with the voiceover, you don't do that on the job, you do it after. Yeah.
100%. Yeah. After I go home, I'll probably, you know, clean up and everything. And let's say I recorded something today, I probably won't add it tomorrow. Maybe a couple of days down the line, you know.
Yeah. So that's another extra work that you have to put in.
Yeah.
Watching the video is nice, but like when you watch it, you don't sort of think that this lad spent hours
the behind the scenes
to get get that video.
Yeah, people just think, okay, the guy does the cleaning, and then maybe he has someone that does the social media for him. No, it's all me. Social media, TikTok, videos I added for Instagram, everything. It's all me. So yeah.
What's the most challenging part of doing mobile services? I started with that myself like about 14 years ago.
Yeah.
I gave up very quick doing mobile. Tell me what's, from your perspective, is most challenging.
Okay, so I'd say, like every business, when you start off, not specifically about mobile detailing, it's the client. You need to find clients somewhere.
Yeah.
You can start low, you know, from like a target audience low. You charge low for the price, and then start building your way up when you're building your credibility. You know, your work. People start seeing your work. But when it comes to mobile detailing, I think it's the weather. You know, because we're out there in the wind, in the rain, in the thunder, and we don't have a unit. Yeah, a gazebo works, but one heavy wind, it just flies away. So weather, I think, is the most challenging.
Now, this actually meant to be my next question. That's what I faced myself when I started mobile, and I gave up very quick because the weather, like, you know, put me off from doing that. In the unit, you have pleasure work.
Yeah.
When you're on the go, if you have nice weather, probably you enjoy it. But if it's rain and windy, like, it's not as nice anymore.
Yeah, it puts you off entirely. You just want to cancel and go home.
Yeah. Yeah. So you mentioned the audience that you're aiming for when it comes to your services. Well, this is definitely the hardest part when you're starting off. Tell me this, because I deal with a lot of people that they starting off businesses when it comes to, they come to me for courses.
Yeah.
You know yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they start in the first while, and sometimes even people, they might be delivering the car care services to customers, but lots of people complain that the customers don't want to pay the price for good quality service. Yeah. Of course, I don't mean after the job, but before they agree the price, people don't. They say that people don't want to pay.
Yeah.
How do you approach that? Do people want to pay you, or they don't want to pay you for your service?
That's funny, because there's two situations. So if you're working on the street and some randomer comes up to you, okay, how much do you charge for a mini valet? I said, okay, I don't do mini valet. It's full deep clean straight away, 150. You can tell that if they're interested or not just by their face. But most of them 150. I can get that down the road for 40 euro, you know? And like at the end of the day, it's your target audience. So the social media platform I have, they will know my work. So that 150 for full detail, they don't really complain, because they see my work and what I do behind the scenes, how much, you know, detail I look into, how much care I put into the work. But mainly the people that pay for my services, they're a different target audience that I'm aiming. So the more higher target audience, you know, when they see my work, there's
no problem with that.
There's no problem.
Yeah, basically, like, it's up to you. You choosing your customers.
Exactly.
But you give it the price, like, you know, like we have different services, and each service is dedicated for different customers. So basically, that kind of says a lot. That, you know, like, I'm glad to see that you don't have that approach that people don't want to pay you. You're struggling with that. You're charging what you
exactly
want.
I stick to my price at the start. Yeah, maybe when I'm starting off, you know.
What was the most unusual experience you had when you were providing services?
I don't think I have that many weird experience, but there was one time I was doing an X5 in an estate, and then next thing I saw this, you know, this girl walked up to me, and I thought, you know, it's normal, like people ask for a price list or your details or whatever. Next thing she was like, oh, you know, I seen you from my window washing the car, you're very cute, you want to grab a drink sometime? And she gave me her, you know, Instagram. Yeah. That was I think the weirdest thing, but I don't think there's anything else.
Okay,
really.
yeah.
But that was pretty, you know, weird. Yeah. Well, it depends on how you look at it.
What are your long-term goals when it comes to your car care venture?
Well, my last goal, I ticked off the list. It was getting a van. Now I have a van because I used to run my job out of my Audi A3. If you guys follow me, you would know I run that out of my A3. Now I got a van. So the next step would probably be maybe a unit, small enough, like perfect size for one car, and then put everything in, or hire someone that comes to the job with me, cut that time from, let's say, 6 hours to maybe 3.
Yeah.
You know, time is money, you know yourself.
Yeah.
Time is money. So that's definitely the next step that I want. So a unit or hire someone. Yeah, that's basically the long-term goal. And of course, expand, you know, get a bigger unit or whatever down the line. Have a couple of people in the unit, and then a couple of people mobile, you know, so that's already making two types of income, you know.
Yeah, slowly, like, but surely, like, I'm sure you get there. I started on my own. Now there's 5 of us working here. Now it took quite a few years, but everything is possible.
Yeah.
So I won't hold you for too long. The last question is: have you got any advice for people that they want to start their own mobile valeting detailing venture?
I have maybe there's two ways you can go at it. The first way is obviously you can get a loan, you know, like a loan, and have that big lump sum and just buy everything and then go off to start getting clients or whatever, start paying for marketing, this and that. The way I did it was, like I said, I did my friend's family's car, I did my own research to do on my own car, to get everything done on my own car, and that is a slower way. You go through. I went through trial and error. I made loads of mistakes because I taught everything myself. Went on YouTube, sat there, watched videos after videos, or you can get a course. I didn't get a course until today for polishing. If you ask me, is it necessary? Yes and no. You know, because there's research out there that you can look up and then do it yourself. But of course, a course is useful as well when it comes to hands-on experience. You know, so the way I did it was, you know, friends, family's car, discounts, free services. I go above and beyond for clients. Just build my way up from there. Social media presence, video and pictures quality, they need to be really good. None of that, you know, blurry stuff. So that's the way I went on.
Well, basically, I kind of went similar way. I went slow.
Yeah.
I think if you try to get everything straight away, you might actually fall.
Yeah, that's true.
If you build your sort of basics gradually, you will have strong foundation for the future. Like, I think that's the better way. Right, and like, take your time. You know, do it slowly, but like, do it right.
Yeah, because I know people that, you know, they don't know anything about detailing yet. They register straight away, you know, set everything up legitly. They start buying all the expensive equipment straight away, you know, paying expensive thing that could not work out down the line. So for me, it was gradually starting off, but it depends on how you want it, you know.
Yeah.
Depends.
Yeah. Also, like if you kind of have the hype for it, then now like the hype might go in a little bit of time. So I think it's better to try slowly, do the job, practice on it, and see whether you enjoy it. Because I think that's the main thing. If you enjoy the job, it makes sense to do it. Like.
Yeah. There's a couple of people that said to me in the comments, TikTok comments, "Oh, just wait until, I don't know, a year or two, this business will fail. It's mostly hyped up for a couple of years and then they'll just give up." But we're still here.
Yeah. Like I'm 14 years almost, and the business is going better and better all the time. So I think once you put you know, good effort in it and time, like you will
exactly, and
will
provide, you know, good service, communicate with your clients properly, and make sure they understand what you provide and their expectation meets yours, you know. So unless there's thunderstorms or something, then I might be closed, because obviously I can't do it outside. But other than that, I think we should be good. I think we should be good.
So that's everything in this video. Nato, thanks for coming.
Thank you so much.
Huge pleasure to have you here. I'm sure we'll catch up again
100%
in the future. If you haven't seen Nato's TikTok, make sure you do.
I don't have YouTube yet. People are saying they want to see me on YouTube, but that's soon.
Yeah, like his TikTok channel is NSN Detailing, so you can find him easily and see what sort of content he has. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, comment below. If you like detailing content, make sure you subscribe my channel if you haven't done yet, and see you on the next one.
See you.